Misty, if you'd call the roll, please.
Al Glanville.
Here.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston.
Here.
Bill Lukens.
Here.
Melissa Niles. Here. Travis Orbach.
Here.
Larry Pratt.
Here.
Linda Varvel. Thank you.
Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Council, our usual reminder, if you have a conflict of interest, please let the rest of the council know before you vote. Need a motion to approve an amended agenda. We'll be adding personnel item E. It'll be Ivan Venner, full-time airport manager, 6th step, $4.73 an hour, effective December 5th, 2023.
I'd like to make a motion to approve an amended agenda, adding item E under personnel, Ivan Venner, full-time airport manager, 6th step, $14.73 an hour, effective 12/5/23.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the November 20th council meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from November 20th council meeting.
Second.
Discussion?
Mayor Nelson, I request that the word amended be removed from the motion to approve the current claims. It was left in from the previous meeting accidentally.
I make that alteration.
The second was Melissa. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Motion to approve the bills in between?
Make a motion to approve the bills in between for $92,517.07.
Second.
Discussion? Did you get the second, Misty?
Mr. Pratt, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. A motion to approve the current claims.
Make a motion to approve current claims for $219,146.47.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit card claims.
Make a motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit card claims, $13,093.73.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Brings us to communications from the public. Is there anyone that would like to address the council tonight? Don't be bashful. All right. We'll move on to council updates. Public Works Director, Tracy.
He's not here.
Oops.
All right, we'll move on. When I chatted with him this morning,
Yeah, I talked to him this afternoon too when
Yeah.
I came back from the meeting to ask about that property we talked about. He knew he was supposed to be here. I hope something.
maybe he's out inspecting the roof work. All right, we'll come back to him if we need to. So that brings us to personnel. A motion to approve personnel actions A through E. Remembering that E is adding Ivan Venner to the personnel actions.
Make a motion to approve personnel actions A through E.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to our ordinance. Ordinance A, a second reading of ordinance 1252. Can I get a motion on that, please?
I make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 1252, a supplemental appropriation ordinance.
Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion
Roll
passes.
call?
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Roll call.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston,
Yes.
Hal Glanville,
Yes.
Melissa Niles,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Travis Orbach.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. Thank you. On to our only resolution tonight, Resolution A, 2023-26, resolution to amend the citywide fee resolution.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-26, a resolution to amend the citywide fee resolution. Citywide fee resolution.
Second motion.
Discussion? On this particular one, I'd like to draw attention to the golf course fees. We added some additional language this year under the tournament green fees. Individuals that purchase a season's pass are not exempt from paying the tournament green fee. It's been done a couple ways in the past, that if you had a season's pass and you were in a tournament, then you didn't pay the tournament fee. And we changed that this year, so that if you're entering a tournament, everybody's going to pay that tournament green fee. Just wanted that out there in the public. The rest of them are fees that have been talked with about the department heads and considered reasonable increases for 2024. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to new business. New business item A. Can I get a motion to approve the budgeted cost of living adjustment increase?
I make a motion to approve the budgeted COLA increase of 85 cents per hour for all full-time employees effective January 1st of '24.
Second?
Bill.
Thank you.
Discussion?
Can I just make one comment or observation? Since it's going to happen, I think, on this item, all the way through F. And I'm looking at Misty to correct me if my statement is going to be wrong. Is all item A, new business items A through F were all discussed and approved when we
Budgeted.
approved the 2024 appropriations budget.
They were all discussed and budgeted for during our 2024.
And so this, the action we're taking tonight is to put those in place. So we've already,
Yes, anything that affects our pay or wages, you need to make an actual action item
so
to do it.
that we're putting into action what we've already approved by the appropriation ordinance and fully discussed through our budget hearings back in July.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item B, approve hourly rate increase.
Make a motion to approve an hourly rate increase of 40 cents per hour for all part-time and seasonal employees. Note the amount equal to the statutory required state minimum wage increase effective 1/1/24.
Second.
I would add, right after I told you correct, then this one came up and I remembered, at the time, they had not passed what that amount would be yet, and we budgeted 85 cents and it passed 40, so just just to clarify.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. New business item C, approve budgeted 15% increase to full-time employees.
I make a motion to approve budgeted 15% increase to full-time employees, top of step, excluding 4 previously raised by council in 2022, effective 1/1/24.
Second.
Discussion? I would just like to thank council for this particular increase to the employees. It's been a while since they'd received any pay increases, and this is significant. So thank you, council, for budgeting it into 2024. The employees deserve it, so I appreciate that. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item D, approve budgeted 10% increase to police department.
I make a motion to approve budgeted 10% increase to police department, chief, captain, and officer top of step, effective January 1st of 2024.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item E, approve budgeted increase to longevity raise.
Make a motion to approve budgeted increase longevity raise awarded after top of step obtained from 0.5% to 1% effective 1/1/24.
Second.
Discussion?
So the top of step is where they're maxed out, and this is just above that?
Correct.
Just kind of a extra?
Anniversary.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item F, approve budgeted increase to returning part-time and seasonal employees.
Make a motion to approve budgeted increase to returning part-time and seasonal employees up to 4 years from 25 cents to 50 cents effective 1/1/24.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item G, allow the city of Hermosa to dispose of up to 25,000 gallons.
Make a motion to allow the city of Hermosa to dispose up to 25,000 gallons per day of effluent wastewater into our wastewater treatment system, paying the commercial waste haulers rates established by the fee schedule on a per-day basis instead of a per-load basis.
Second.
Discussion?
After listening to the last council meeting, I wanted to clarify that the only thing you're waiving is that each truck is not going to have to pay that first, what is it, $9 now, $15 after the first of the year. Every 1,000 gallons of effluent put into our system will pay the rate, but only one time per day will they pay that first per load. The rest of the trip. And it kind of sounded after I listened and then after I read the article in the paper, like even the paper understood us to say that we were only going to charge the $1,000 per rate. We still intend to pay the first per load increased per 1,000 gallon rate, but only one time instead of for each truck
Correct.
was the proposal.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. New business item H, approve proposed updates to the City of Hot Springs personnel policy.
I make a motion to approve proposed updates to the City of Hot Springs personal policy to be effective January 1st, 2024.
Second.
Discussion? So quite a list of changes in the personnel policy. Admin and finance kicked these around for a while, and this is what they settled on as a recommendation to you folks. So if you have any questions, about the changes.
You had a whole 2 weeks to ask.
And thank you for taking a look at them. I appreciate that. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item I, approve proposed updates to the City of Hot Springs Safety Manual.
Make a motion to approve the proposed updates to the City of Hot Springs Safety Manual to be effective January 1, 2024.
Second.
Discussion? Oh, same thing with this. Admin Finance took a look at them, and these are the proposed changes coming out of that committee.
Really more just as a result of the clothing policy changes. We didn't make any other reviews or changes to the safety manual, so it's just related to identifying Arctic boots as personal protective equipment and adding cold weather gear to our PPE standards.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item J, acknowledge and approve the City of Hot Springs organizational chart.
I make a motion to acknowledge and approve the City of Hot Springs organizational chart as prepared by Mayor Bob Nelson.
Second?
Discussion? What's changed on this one is I moved the library out from under the city administrator. And looking at codified law, I believe it's the intent of codified law to have the library board govern the library employees. It's up to the library board to hire the librarian. It's up to the librarian then to hire their employees. It's up to the library board to establish a budget that then is approved by council. But in my mind, it's just very evident that codified law wants the library board to do that. It doesn't mean that the city council, doesn't have any oversight. The reason I put it under the mayor is if, as a city, as a council, we feel that there's something that needs to be addressed with the library, then it would be up to whoever the mayor is at the time to raise that concern with the president of the library board and get that worked out. But on a day-to-day basis, the direct supervision of the library staff would be by the library board, and that's what this chart reflects.
Is this going to be set in stone, or can it be changed at any time on a later date?
This particular one can be changed. Misty's comment was she's seen a number of them in the past. She doesn't recall that any of them have gone through council. But I say this one for me is a significant change that I wanted to bring in front of you people.
Thank you, Mayor.
So Bill will have to update our council orientation PowerPoint we created.
Oh, my.
We'll just copy and paste.
Lions and tigers and bears.
I think that makes him happy. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item K, approve an automatic budget supplement.
Make a motion to approve an automatic budget supplement of $25,000 to the additional sales tax fund, service and fees 212-21200-42200 for the Minnetonka Bridge Replacement Design Engineering Expense. Revenue received from BIG grant funding.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to committee reports, Administrative and Finance. Tracy, you've joined us. Could you, if you could come give your report.
Test. I guess we're there. Yeah, I think I probably missed the original time by about a minute. But anyway, is this on?
Can you folks hear him?
Okay, all right. Good.
We need to hear you better, though.
You need to hear me better?
We don't have our big microphone, or big speaker up here anymore.
Says on, but, well, something, yeah, there's a little bit. What's that?
There you go.
My outdoor voice, yes, yes, okay. The pleasant weather is certainly, I think, working in the favor of the construction project. Concrete is being placed pretty much each day. At this point, a lot of it is, to me, it's like the last pieces of the puzzle. I noticed today they were prepping the center lane area over here on the corner, by First Interstate Bank. Because of the way they had to phase everything, they had to leave that part out for last, and they were prepping that today, which was good to see. They were doing more of the driveway entrance to Dakota Mart. I've noticed that about 2 blocks of South Chicago Street now from the stoplight to the south is pretty much open. That's good. The Yes Way entrance is finished. I think they still have some cones on the most recent pour just to allow that to be able to properly cure. Of course, one of the big things that we've all noticed is the changes over here on the 6th Street Bridge, also known as the Dip Bridge. That work has started recently. A few days back, there were a few surprises, some pipes that were buried in the bridge that, of course, they come and wonder if I know what it is, and fortunately I was able to figure it out. We have some records in our archives that they had actually placed a brand new water main capped off on each end for future use in 1954, but it was never used. And I don't know how well it would have worked, really, the way it was placed in that concrete. It would have, if the water wouldn't have been moving fast, it would have probably been a freeze problem all the time. But anyway, they have removed a lot of the portion of the bridge that it's a realignment. We have the drawings down at City Hall. If you're curious of just to some extent what that curve is going to look like, it's somewhat hard to visualize it when you stand there and look at it. But my understanding is that they will prepare that road base as it makes its new alignment, going over to the intersection with basically directly across from where 6th Street, well, actually now Canton, comes out by Dakota Mart Gas. As far as pavement, concrete, as far as we know, that will be done once the weather is warmer and more conducive for placing that much type of concrete. There also will be a short section of retaining wall that is on the west side of the, I guess we'll call it the island. It's really not an island, but the area that will be in between. So a lot of things are going to happen in there. There's a lot of work that they have to do, and it's very much a big visual change. So that's going to be progressing. Meanwhile, on North River Street, the water main, the old 16-inch water main, is officially decommissioned. So that is a big sigh of relief for all of us that have had to deal with that thing. If you've driven by and you've seen some of those old pieces of pipe, it's absolutely unbelievable that it held together and was even working at all. So the corrosion issues of a pipe that was only 43 years old, it was just amazing. Disappointing, but amazing that it did not last longer. So that part is done. They are currently working on the sanitary sewer, and that's it's deep and it's somewhat complex up in that area, so that's why they have to continue with the one-way traffic, but they are making progress. We've been told probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks they'll probably have that section done. There will be a time where the Minnetonka Bridge will have to be closed again because part of that sewer goes over and connects to that line that comes down Minnetonka. So there's just a lot of complexity in that area, but they're working through it. Good communication, with the contractor. So we're pleased with progress on that. And in other areas, good news from our airport. Our hangar that we've been waiting for a long time is actually being rather rapidly put together. So that is good to see that. That's going to be able to probably be useful within a fairly short time. And I think that's pretty much on the project updates, so I'll take any
The mayor
questions.
mentioned today that the sidewalk project is now not anticipated to be.
Oh, yes, thank you, Misty. The suspended sidewalk project probably kicking off, we're told now, first part of January. So hopefully, that's what we'll see. But we've had several dates be pushed out before, so I guess when we see the crew start working in that area, then we'll know it's in progress. But for now, that's what they're telling us is early
And it's
January.
related to supply.
That's also what we're being told. I think fabrication of some of probably the towers. I think there was maybe some fabrication delays. So that seems to be the holdup. Hopefully the good weather will be holding up. I mean, I know we'll have at least some kind of winter weather, but this type of weather we're having this week is very, very beneficial.
I'm sorry, I take all the time. I have one more question. Is there a reason that the sewer is so extremely deep in that?
Well, it was it's deep to be able to be deep enough to pick up the Minnetonka line. That's part of it. And just to be able to maintain grade in that area. But yes, it's quite deep. I mean, the original in that, we're not really changing the depth very much from what it was before. But that part's deep. Actually, quite a bit of it on North River Street is very deep.
Council? As Tracy and Misty had said, the suspended sidewalk, at the last week's construction meeting, they had said they hope they'll be starting in January. The original start date they gave for us was July. So when they had indicated January, we asked them what year, if they could pin that down a little closer.
I think it's 2024.
I'm normally an optimist. I'm moving away from that. I'd like to remind the public and council that every Tuesday at 10 o'clock at the American Legion, there is a public construction meeting. If you have any concerns about what's going on, you just want information about the project, the contractors have set that time aside to meet with the public. From 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, it's a private contractors meeting that they get together and they talk about the project. They invite the city to attend those so that we have an idea of what's going on, and from those meetings, that's where we're able to share the information with you. The question has been put in one of the public portions of that meeting, why the public isn't able to attend that 9 o'clock meeting. And again, it's because that's a contractors meeting. That's not something that's set up by the city. I attend those, Tracy attends them, other city employees that need to be aware of what's going on, and the city administrator. But there isn't a quorum of the council that's there, so that is not an open meeting, that is a private meeting. All right, anything?
Where would you estimate that the percentage of completion of this year's job is? Are we on time to make the end of the December 31st deadlines?
I haven't renewed the extended warranty on my crystal ball. It's hard to say. I've been thinking about this a lot, looking at where the project's at, the types of, we still have an area to go through, from Minnetonka Avenue North, that is some of our very, very oldest parts of town. Actually, in some ways, North River Street is pretty much the same, but I think about the railroad, I think about the various infrastructure that may have been in place 100, years or 125 years ago. There's part of that water flume that supplied the power company turbine. Parts of that are still up there somewhere, and we've never seen records anywhere that tell where that thing is at. So there will probably be more surprises. There'll be more things that have just been there, covered up for well over 100 years. So,
Would you say that from the Jennings Bridge south will be completed by the end of this year?
it's looking...
Except for the teardrop or
except for the peninsula part.
realignment.
Whatever we want to call it. That's looking pretty good. It really is. And with this week's warm weather, they're laying concrete. I know they have some sidewalk work to do, but overall, it's actually in pretty good shape. So that looks pretty hopeful.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
All right, committee reports, Administrative Finance, JR, Melissa?
Admin Finance met today at 1 o'clock here at the Mueller Civic Center. In attendance were Mayor Bob Nelson, Finance Officer Misty Summers Walton, City Administrator Bob Nelson, council members, co-chair Melissa Niles, Hal Glanville, Deb Johnston, and PD Chief Ross Norton. Old business, 1, additional costs related to water wastewater replacement road project, ongoing review and discussions. Mr. reported we do not need or will not need to draw from the South Dakota DOT line of credit in 2023. Number 2, continued discussion, possible sale of land owned by city. A, 4.14 acres adjacent to Simon Quarry near Evergreen Cemetery, general government surplus, pending discussions with Simon. B, 7+ acres north of Hayden's property in Opera Canyon, water replat and only offer for buildable piece for sale, secure water line easement surplus, and Tracy, you're gone. Pending info from Tracy and City Administrator Bob Nelson. Number 3, South Dakota DOT loan request, review plans and figures, no anticipated draw needed for 2023. Number 4, PD background checks, process, costs, reasons, assigned to City Attorney's opinion for the January 8th meeting. PD can do pre-employment. New business, 1, Mayor, nothing to report. 2, review monthly finance officer reports, Misty reviewed. 3, committee member items. Chief Norton discussed PD reduction and overtime through rescheduling of 86 hours per pay period. That's under review. Misty discussed changes in position titles, position descriptions assigned to the new city administrator. We adjourned at 2:10. Next meeting, January 8th, 2024, 1 p.m. Mueller Civic Center, JR Chair.
I have an update from Tracy. I caught him on the way back in from that meeting, and he said that he went out there with Sean. They're pretty sure that water line goes right through the front of that property, kind of right in the middle. He said he'll try to map it out so you can look at it. They'll have to determine if an easement on that piece of property would deter someone who may be interested in purchasing it to build or not.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Melissa, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, pretty complete.
All right. JR had mentioned police department reduction. I just want to make sure that people understand that what the police chief was proposing is going to different number of hours per pay period, which would potentially reduce the number of total overtime hours. He wasn't talking about a reduction in the police staff.
No, I said.
Well, I understand.
Your heart stopped.
But depending on what the public hears, when they hear police department reduction, I want to be,
There's
add to
actually
that.
an exception to the Fair Labor Standards Act when it comes to overtime provisions that's just specific to fire departments and police department employees. Regular hourly employees must be paid overtime when they work more than 40 hours a week. This exception for those types of employees allows you to look at a pay period, a 14-day pay period or different 7-day increments of a pay period, whatever works for your payroll. And at the 2-week that we pay the bi-weekly, it'd be anything over 86 hours. That way they can continue to work their 12-hour shifts that some of the younger officers like to work and not be shy 4 hours the first week and then over 4 or more hours the second week. So we're looking into that and the applicability and the approvals of such.
And I'd like to thank Chief Norton for being aware of the fact that the police department has the biggest overtime budget and identifying how both the officers can benefit and the taxpayers benefit by looking at a different schedule for those employees. So again, I just want to say for the people that heard police department reduction, that we're not looking at reducing the staff within the police department. We're looking at the police chief's recommendation, how we can reduce the overtime costs for the police department. Airport Advisory. Bill.
Airport Advisory will meet this Thursday, December 7th, 8:30 a.m. at the airport.
Thank you. Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management. Travis?
The Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management District Board meeting will occur next on January 11th, which is Thursday, 7 o'clock here at the Mueller Civic Center.
Thank you. Historic Preservation. Deborah?
They will meet this Wednesday, the 6th, 5 p.m. at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Evans Plunge Advisory. Linda? Isn't here. Parks and Recreation. Larry?
Next meeting is this Wednesday, the 6th at 2 p.m. here at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning. Deborah?
They meet Wednesday, the 20th at 6 p.m. City Hall.
Thank you. Public Safety. Bill? JR?
Public Safety meets this Thursday, December 7th, 2 p.m. at the Mueller Center Conference Room.
Thank you. Public Works. Bill? Hal?
Okay, Public Works met Tuesday, November 28th, 1 p.m. here at the Mueller Center. Present were Hal Glanville, Deborah Johnston, myself, Mayor Nelson, City Administrator Bob Nelson Jr., Public Works Engineer Tracy Bastian, and Laurie Sherrard representing the Maintenance Department cemetery crew. Also present were Cheryl Chapman, the Executive Director of Western Dakota Regional Water Systems. We adopted a revised agenda. There were no communications from the public. Under new business, Cheryl Chapman, the Executive Director of Western Dakota Regional Water Systems, presented an overview of the organization and one of its main purposes, which is to assess the feasibility of bringing Missouri River water to the Black Hills region in order to meet future demands. The committee will continue to discuss the technical issues with representatives at future committee meetings before making a recommendation to council regarding membership with Western Dakota Regional Water Systems and any associated data gathering requests. And I do have 3 copies of their annual report if any of the council members, or Misty if you're interested. It gives a good background to the organization, some of the research they've done so far, what they're all about, and what they're proposing to do. Secondly, the committee was informed by Laurie Sherrard that the contractor that currently opens and closes the plots at Evergreen Cemetery will cease to perform that function. The maintenance department has contacted 3 other potential service providers to determine interest in performing that service. The committee recommends that if city workers are needed to open and close plots, that the same fee charged by the contractors be charged by the city and included in the fee schedule, and I believe that was included in the fee schedule we approved tonight. It is also recommended that performance guidelines and expectations be included as part of any authorization or agreement with any future contractors. Our third item of new business had to do with our historic stair repairs. Mayor Nelson informed the committee that emails have been sent out to ISG and KLJ requesting design and work estimates for repairs and/or replacements. Replacement of the historic stairs at the fire station, the Episcopal Church, and Pioneer Museum. Estimates by state-approved engineering firms are required for the grant applications the city will be pursuing, and both ISG and KLJ are on that state-approved list. So essentially, we've taken the first step necessary to begin work on those historic stairs. Under departmental summaries, street departments preparing for seasonal snow removal. Wastewater, the wet well control system is installed and complete, and you approved a lot of that work in the current claims tonight. The heat exchanger is being replaced in the office, and the circulation pumps in the digester building are being replaced. So that work is, I think, yet to happen, and you'll be seeing that show up in future claims packages. Receipt of wastewater from third-party haulers is being more actively managed per the recently reviewed and revised wastewater ordinance, and this is resulting in fewer upsets in the system. And as Tracy reported, the 16-inch ductile iron or malleable iron main has been completely replaced on North River Street, and everybody said, yippee. Yeah. For a 30-day look ahead, no major projects are planned other than the incidental road reconstruction support. And if you're interested, the active and inactive project information can be found on the current Public Works report on the city website. Meeting adjourned at 2:52 p.m. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, December 12th, 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center Conference Room.
Hal, anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
Any questions?
Well, Bill, since you're gonna, Public Works is gonna spearhead those stairs, I'll just take it off of Parks agenda. Or would you like to keep it on there, Mayor?
Let's keep it there.
Okay. Okay,
The more the better, I think.
all right, okay. Groovy, groovy.
Thank you, gentlemen. Bill was talking about the stairs, and Larry just asked a question about them also. The request that I sent out to ISG and KLJ asked for a response back by January 2nd. So we'll see what they come back with, and we'll go from there.
I also just thought historic preservation might want to be included in that plan stage as well.
I was going to mention that, but figured it would come up.
And you're gonna go for the full grant, right, Misty?
What's that?
You're going for the full grant?
There were two different options where these engineered design plans were required to even apply. And they were 80-20 grants and 75-25, I believe, the two options. Does that sound right?
I remember, and I may not be remembering correctly, that the engineering required grants were 80-20, the non-engineered required grants were 60-40.
Okay.
That I may not be remembering correctly. That's my current
There were two, I
recollection.
thought,
Right.
that we need to have the engineered design plans for, I thought.
Anyway, as my legal statement, that's my current recollection.
Mine too.
All right. Southern Hills Golf Course Advisory, that committee is meeting now as necessary because the course is closed. I do want to update the council that work has begun on the wall. BTD is the contractor. We had a pre-construction meeting last week with them, and they're on site today, and they have started working on getting that wall replaced. So that's exciting. Any other questions? So So our city administrator is not with us tonight, so that brings us to finance officer report. Misty?
I'd just like to mention in Linda's absent, the next meeting of the Evans Plunge Advisory Committee will be December 14th at noon at Evans Plunge, if anybody's interested. And then thank you. You all received my monthly finance officer report. Due to timing, the financial reports are only through the 29th of November, so they don't include the entire month. But we've only got 1 month left in the year, so it's just a good snapshot as to where we were at compared to our budget. I'm happy to report that revenues exceeded expectations in several areas, and we come in most areas under budget and expenses. I do take the responsibility of managing our city finances very seriously, as you may well know. I hope you do as well. I want to make sure you're comfortable when making decisions, and that's why you get these kind of reports from me. Any decisions you make that impact policy and finances, remember my door's always open. I'm always looking for your input and feedback, and happy to share mine as well. I summarized the basis of accounting that the city utilizes because they're different depending on the fund. We have a modified accrual basis of accounting for all governmental funds. There are 6, and full accrual for our enterprise funds. There are 5. Those standards require that we recognize both revenue and expenditures in the year in which the object or service was received or obtained, not when it was paid for. That's cash basis, and we don't do that. So as we prepare to wrap up and finalize this year, we shared expectations for year-end spending and revenue collection with all our department heads, asking that purchases are limited after the last meeting of the year until the new year, and for help wrapping up all revenue collection. As approvers, you can expect to see 2023 payables into at least the first 30 days, and we typically extend into February as well in the new year. And then also we collect revenues into the first couple months of the next year. We also calculate numerous journal entries and post those to recognize and record the effects of payables, receivables, accruals for payroll, leave liability, debt, special assessments, inventory, and other necessary financial transactions. So although I'll give you December month-end reports, remember no true year-end financials are available until after all these things have been recorded. And as most of you remember, all annual reports are required by statute to be presented no later than the first meeting in May, and I always hit that deadline. Thanks for your approvals on all those agenda items that were previously approved during the budget planning meetings. In September in my memo, I reminded you that approving a budget is simply budget authority. So you're going to see all these items for a third time when you have to approve the wage resolution at the beginning of the year. Because we're required to also, when we make these changes to any employee, have you approve that and publish it as well. So you approved it once, you approved it twice, you approved it 3 times. The second meeting in December is when you would typically approve the annual budgeted subsidy transfers from our additional sales tax fund to both Southern Hills Golf Course and Evans Plunge to fulfill the requirements of a balanced budget. Council projected both funds would require additional means of finance or transfers in to cover actual expenses and to ensure a positive cash balance. As of today, both funds appear to be on track to not need the budgeted subsidy. I'm glad you guys are still here, because in my memo, I'd like to congratulate and thank both Evans Plunge and the golf course management team on this accomplishment.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about our reemployment insurance fee, which went down. We budgeted a little bit more than will be charged in 2024. Talk a little bit about the recommendations, findings, and reports of appointed working groups and committees and the process that's supposed to take to get to council. Talk a little bit about our loss control survey that occurred on November 21st. The survey is a condition of the city's membership with the South Dakota Municipal League for Workers' Compensation Insurance Coverage and the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance for liability coverage. This year we had only 4 recommendations in 3 departments, And I did get a request to see that. If anybody else is interested, I'd be happy to forward it along to you. We do receive typically 4,000 to 6,000 in loss control credits for complying with their recommendations. As a reminder, Ariel and I will be out of the office all day Wednesday, December 6th to attend the Black Hills Area Finance Officers Association quarterly meeting in Bellevue. Hopefully they still welcome us after hiring their city administrator. And also city offices will be closed Monday, December 25th and Tuesday, December 26th in celebration of Christmas. I appreciate the opportunity to serve as your finance officer, and I also appreciate each of you for the work you put in making Hot Springs such a great place to live and work. Together we'll keep Hot Springs moving forward in a positive direction in the following year. That's all I have.
Any questions for Misty?
I could probably wait till next meeting to report this, but for one of the findings, the corrective action will be completed next Wednesday at, beginning at 6 p.m.
Is that the night firing class?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Any other questions? Thank you, Misty. Mine is brief tonight, but I would like to acknowledge that we have 2 of our 3 city attorneys with us tonight. We have Cole Romey and Austin Schaefer. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we haven't scared you away from future attendance. This particular meeting, though it's not going to set a record that's been established by Council President Lukens, it looks like if I quit jacking my jaws here, we'll be under an hour, which is pretty much unprecedented for us. So don't expect less than an hour meetings. But I want to thank all the volunteers that each year step up and make the Christmas in the Hills weekend a success. These folks donate their personal time and resources to organize many activities throughout town. The light parade, the Christmas tree lighting, whether at the Evans or this year at the American Legion, the Arts and Crafts Festival at the Mueller Civic Center, and putting up decorations at Centennial Park, along with the many other things these folks do. I also want to thank the city employees who hang the Christmas decorations along Main Street. These volunteers and city staff are what kickstart the holiday season in Hot Springs, and I want them to know I appreciate all they do. Do you have any questions for me? All right. With that, we need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Have a good evening, everyone.